Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for joining us today to learn about the Luksic Scholarship at Sciences Po. My name is Gabrielle Trisati. I'm the Outreach Coordinator at the Luksic Foundation. And here's a bit of what we'll cover today. We do have Larissa Frozel Barros, the International Affairs Manager for Latin America and the Caribbean, here with us today. She's going to tell you guys all about the program, the university, the scholarship, the process, hopefully answering any questions or doubts that you might have. But of course, we will leave some time at the end of the webinar so that you guys can ask any questions that you may have, and really feel free to use this time. You have Larissa here from the university, myself from the foundation, and we will of course leave a recording of this event on our YouTube channel. We don't have a Luksic scholar joining us today. As you know, it's a bit busy period, end of the year, but you can look up previous information sessions if you would like to get more of a testimony sort of the day of the life of a Luksic scholar there at Sciences Po. So just to provide a bit of context to the Luksic Foundation, in addition to the programs and the scholarships we have within international education, we also do design and implement programs within early childhood, sports, and education. We're in the VOTEC world, also in entrepreneurship, conservation, and emergency support. But specific to international education, our work in this area actually began back in the early 2000s. And since then, we've been able to really link and create these international academic networks with Chile and the world. And since then, we've been able to implement over 30 types of programs in collaboration with international universities, one of which is here with us today, Sciences Po. And since then, about 2,200 Luksic scholars have formed part of these programs. And I really just want to emphasize here that this is not just a number, this 2,200, these are real people who have lived these international opportunities and form part of our wonderful Luksic scholars community. So this is just a snapshot really of the types of international programs that we offer. Of course, we'll focus today on the master's scholarships. These are full scholarships, so tuition, your living stipend, arrival and travel costs. There are also fellowships for academics within research and a doctorate in political science. And we also do implement short courses here in Chile with international experts, so we invite them to the country. Those are about 2 to 3 day programs. And anyone who participates in these, we then invite them to the Luksic Scholars community. And so where are the Luksic scholarships available every year? This is to give you sort of an overview of where they're available and which universities. Of course, today we'll be talking about the scholarships at Sciences Po. I do just want to reiterate here that all of these universities, all of these wonderful partners that we have really believe in Chilean talent. They see that quality and really want you all to feel welcome, to apply to these programs, to be on their campus. These are definitely spaces for you. These opportunities are created for you. Hence why we have these sort of information sessions. And actually, Larissa will be visiting Chile shortly at the end of this month. So we may host an in-person information session in Santiago. So keep your eyes out for a potential invitation. And now in terms of the scholarships themselves, this is really a great program because it allows you to access about, if I'm not mistaken, 9 or 10 master's programs within the School of Public Affairs and the Paris School of International Affairs. And Larissa will go into more detail, but you really have a wide variety to choose from. We've had scholars do the MPP, the Master of Public Policy, but also in national security, international governance. There's also energy transitions. So you really have a great pick, a great choice here. The scholarships do include tuition fees, your living expenses, arrival and travel costs. These are all based on the cost of living there in Paris to really support you during this 2-year program. There is a new application process this year that Sciences Po has implemented, and Larissa will give more details, but it's essentially you apply to the master's program, and then you apply to the scholarship with the new Luksic scholarship application form. And this year, the deadline has been extended, so you have more time to apply to both the master's program and the scholarship. That will be January 4th of next year. So you do have some time, and hence why we're having this information session. So you have some time to also make sure you have the documentation that you need and understand this new process moving forward. So if you are selected as a Luksic Scholar, you will be invited to form our community, and this is where we really want to engage and interact with you more than just the financial support that the scholarship offers. This is an example of that, sort of accompanying you guys before. Also, we invite you, if you are selected, here to our office to have a scholar breakfast with the other Luksic scholars who've been selected. You guys can exchange information. We really want to make sure that you have those robust networks and institutional support before you go abroad. Whilst you're abroad, you'll see here one of the lower pictures. Trini and Vanessa, my colleagues, will make visits to visit you guys in Paris, take you out to dinner, make sure that you're doing well. We do care about that. We know for many it might be your first time abroad or first time doing a master's program, and especially abroad. So we really want to provide that support. And then after, you will have the opportunity to access our annual post-program fund. So you can apply for up to $5,000 to support different initiatives that you might be working on. This is all done through a whole evaluation process with an external evaluation panel, but it can be anything from you want to attend a conference abroad, or you want to invite someone to a conference to speak, you're writing a book, you need to print a lot of flyers for an initiative that you're organizing. Those are the kinds of initiatives that we can help with. And so how to apply, this goes for any of our scholarships, and with this I'll close. Everything is done through the universities. From the foundations side, we do not participate in the application, admissions, selection process. In this case, Sciences Po will take on all of that. And so really research and understand the admissions criteria for the programs of your interest. We'll hear from Larissa about the specific criteria that you need to meet to apply to the program and the scholarship via the university, and essentially await a response from the university itself. I do want to mention here that there is no obligation to return to Chile upon completion of the program, and there are no age requirements except for the Schwarzman Scholars Program that takes place in China. So I will end it there, and I will go ahead and start to share Larissa's screen, and thank you guys again for being here today. Okay. Perfect.
Thank you very much, Gabrielle. Thank you, everyone who is connected to this information session. I'm really happy to renew this moment to share a little bit about our graduate programs here at Sciences Po, and to explain, as Gabrielle said, we've changed a little bit the admissions process. Actually, the application process, the admission is the same, but the application process, there is a little bit of a change with a new form. I will go through it in a few slides. But thank you once again. So first of all, I want to introduce a little bit of myself. I'm Larissa Fruta Barros. I work the International Affairs Division at Sciences Po. So here at our office, we are divided in different regions of the world, and I'm in charge of Latin America and the Caribbean. And I have some colleagues that work with me, but mainly I oversee all of our cooperation with universities, partner universities in Chile and other countries, and also foundations of the Luksic Foundation. And I'm in charge as well of promoting Sciences Po, not only for the degree-seeking programs, but also for the exchange programs. So mainly today, I will speak about two of our graduate schools, is the schools that are eligible for the Luksic Scholarship for Public Service at Sciences Po. But I will start a little bit with our history. So if you can change, please, Gabrielle. So Sciences Po, we are founded after the Franco-Prussian War. So Emily Boutimi, that was the founder of Sciences Po, started to think about the future of the country and why France has been defeated so fast. And he thought that it would be interesting and important to think about the future of the politics of France. Meaning he wanted to found a university that would allow to train people to go to work for the French government and rethink the ways that France would um, I'm trying to find a word, but trying to get a position, new position in the European context that was changing by the defeat of the war. So we evolved at an institution, a higher education institution throughout the years. We started only with men attending Sciences Po, but then of course with the world changed, we started having more women in our students' body. And today, women are half of the students. This a little bit more than half of the students. This is quite important for us. It's one of the values that we take a lot of attention. And we have nowadays 15,000 students, and half of them are international students, which mean that either they have a dual nationality or they are coming from different countries all around the world. So of course we have about 450 students coming from Latin America, but we are really proud to say that we don't have a nationality that takes more than 6% of our student body. That of course, except for French people that are quite represented because we are in France, the other nationality, the most represented is the U.S. citizens, but it's max 6%. So which means that in terms of percentage, we have international students coming from all over the world and divided in different campus for the undergraduate level. But on the graduate level, that's what concerns you. All the programs are concentrated in the Paris campus. So here in the Paris campus, we have 8 graduate schools with more than 30 master's programs. I will go through it, but I want to say that we are really proud of being the first university in the QS ranking 2025 for politics in the European Union. So we are quite renowned in this field of studies. And the international process of Sciences Po, so a universe that was first created to think about French politics and became um, um, an international inspiration for the world politics, came as well with the effort that we did to have different partner institutions. So nowadays we are about 500 international institutions all over the world, including Chile, and this contributes to be well known in every single continent in the world. Between this 50% you can change, thank you, Gabriel. Between these 50% of international students, we have more than 150 nationalities represented. Of course, this will change from one graduate school to another, but just to give you an idea, in the master's level, so about half of our students are in the master's level, divided in the graduate schools, and we have 31% of internationals and 11%, sorry, of binationals. So binational is those who have a French nationality with a second nationality. You can change, please, Gabriel. So in the graduate schools, we have 8. The last one that will start next year is the Paris Climate School. But for the Luksic scholarship for public service at Sciences Po, only 2 of them are eligible for the scholarship. So between the 8 that you see listed here, only the School of Public Affairs and the Paris School of International Affairs can accept the applications for their scholarship. You can try, of course, if you are not interested in these 2 schools, other schools. So there is the School of Management and Impact, the Law School, the Urban School, the School of Research, the School of Journalism, and the Paris Climate School, as I mentioned. But for those schools, you can only apply through our scholarship that is different from the Luksic Scholarship for Public Service. I will go to in detail. So the first school is the Public Affairs. There is only 2 master's degree, but the main objective and ambition of this school is to forge the academic path of the new leaders, not only in Europe or France, but also in the world. It prepares students not only for the public administration, but also for the private sector, because you will see there are a few policy streams that you can choose. And even if the students choose sometimes to start a career in France or in Europe, they have all the skills to keep the exchange and dialogue with other parts of the world. We can change. So here, how is the structure of the 2 years master's program at Sciences Po? So we say that we have 3 semesters inside Sciences Po on the campus, and then 1 semester abroad outside of the campus. So for the 3 semesters that you are studying at Sciences Po, you have to choose between, if you are choosing the School of Public Affairs, you have to choose between the Public Policy Masters or the European Affairs Masters. Both of them, they can be taught in French or English, so you can choose the language that you are applying for it. Between these 3, during these 3 semesters at Sciences Po, you have to choose a policy stream. So you have 11 options, 2 of them in both, like we have the options you can choose either in French or English. There are a few options only in English, and 3 of them only in French. So if you choose this policy stream, you have to prove your level of French. The 4th semester, be it sometimes it happens in the 3rd semester, sometimes in the 4th semester, but 4th semester in the meaning like outside of the 3 semesters that you spend at Sciences Po, you have to choose between 3 options. So you can either go abroad for exchange program with one of more than 400 partner universities. You can do a master thesis, so you have to choose a teacher, a professor here at Sciences Po to develop a research project and write your master thesis, which means that you can travel as well to do your field work if it's as necessary. Or you can choose to do an internship. At Sciences Po, we have a lot of tradition on having most of the students doing an internship. It can be in France, in Europe, or in any other part of the world. It has to be approved by Sciences Po Careers and also by your academic advisor. And so it makes sense related to your academic path. But just be aware that you will spend 3 semesters at Sciences Po inside a campus and 1 semester abroad, be it for one of these 3 projects, internship, exchange program, or master thesis. In the School of Public Affairs, you have about 20% of international students that are participating in one of these 2 master's degree, 10% of by national, and then the rest of the students, they are French students. I listed here our dual degrees. They are not eligible for the Luksic scholarship, but why? What are the reasons that to list those? It's just because we know that the master's degree is not about just what you are learning during your courses, but it's also about your networking, with whom you are exchanging, who are what is the potential of people who are learning with you. So be aware that people from these dual degrees will be part of your academic path here at Sciences Po. So this is important, and it's one of the most unique experience at Sciences Po, that the students live with a good network in every part of the world, of course, depending on their on how much they invest in being part of the students' associations, students' programs and initiatives, but also exchanging during the class. Just to give you an overview, so at Sciences Po, although we have some traditional careers that are most represented among our alumni, people can, like students, have all the capacity to apply to different areas of work. So it's of course normal that for the public affairs school, most of them go to the public administration, public sector, but not only. There are people that go for international organizations, for communications, sometimes NGOs, culture, and cinema. It depends on the policy stream, because the policy stream is kind of a specialization inside the master's degree. So you can choose different outcomes for your professional path. Let's go for the Paris School of International Affairs. So in this school, it's one of the two schools that is 100% in English. So you don't have to prove any level of French for this school. And it's a school where the outcomes go not only for international NGOs, international organizations, but can go as well a lot for the private sector. And it's a school that is trying to teach students the complexity of the world today, be it in a security way, be it talking about energy, about global governance. So here the list of master's degrees is a little bit longer. We can change the slide so I can show you the list. So we have all these master's degrees, so international security, international economic policy, international development, international energy transitions, environment policy, human rights and humanitarian action, and international governance and diplomacy. There are two more master's degree, but I put it then in a small size because they are not eligible for the Luksic scholarship. There is a kind of joint master's degree between our School of Journalism and the School of International Affairs, that is Journalism International Affairs, and also the new master's degree in Technology and Global Affairs. These two, they are not eligible, but the rest of it, they are for the scholarship, and it's the same structure. So 3 semesters, you are having classes and structuring your knowledge inside the campus. And 1 semester, you have the option between internship, a master thesis, or an exchange program. The difference here is that we are not talking about policy systems, we are talking about regional and thematic concentrations. So students have to choose one concentration that is mandatory. So we have 5 regional concentrations: Africa Studies, the Americas, Asian Studies, European Studies, and Middle Eastern Studies. And or they can choose 11 thematic. It's listed here, but it goes from agriculture to gender studies to method and project manage. There is different. I leave you to read all this list. And the second concentration is optional, but the optional meaning either you choose a second concentration, and most of our students would combine 1 regional concentration to 1 thematic concentration, but it's not mandatory. You can choose to have 2 regional or 2 thematic concentrations. But if you don't want to have a second concentration, another option is to add more courses in the first concentration, so you can get even more specialized in this 1 concentration. So 1 concentration is mandatory, the second one is optional, but if you don't take the second one, you have to take more courses in the first concentration. And another option is also to be part of the law clinics. We have about 4 law clinics in migration, in environment, and human rights as well. But for these you have to go through a selection. So this means that you would be more this semester of the law clinic, you would be more working with the law school at Sciences Po. But there are few spots, and you have to go to a selection after your admission between the first and the last week of June. During this month, there is a selection for the law clinic. This is something new, like not from this year, but before this option was not open to every single student, and now you can apply for it. Here, just to finish, it's one of the most international schools that we have here at Sciences Po, of course, because it's the only one, not this day, one of the 2 graduate schools only in English. So 62% of international students at the school. And the list of the dual degrees is for the same reason I spoke before. So because you have this networking option for you. Thank you, Gabrielle. So here, as you can see, the outcome is a little bit different. So we have much more students going for NGOs and international organizations. But what is interesting is that the private sector, it's quite an interesting option for those who has a diploma from PSIA, the Paris School of International Affairs. Let's go. Oh, yes, this is an overview where the place where people get their first job after have our master's degree. So most of them, they decide to stay in the European Union, but we do have a nice percentage of people going to South America, North America, Africa, and Asia. So you can choose, but this is more or less how it comes from our alumni body. And now let's go very quickly to the application overview. So what is different this year? This year, instead of indicated in the Sciences Po website that you want to apply for the Emily Boutimi, that is our own scholarship, and then we will choose you in that way. We created an application form for the Luksic scholarship for public service at Sciences Po. So what you have to do? Um, First of all, you have to fill out your application for Sciences Po, for a master's degree at Sciences Po in our website. Is the application link that I put it here in red. So you complete that, you go through all the process. And once you submit it, or even if you have already submitted, you have to fill out a form that is indicated the link here in the right column of the slide. And then I put it a link, the Luksic Scholarship web page. You'll find a link there where you fill out a few information. So your name, the university where you obtain your bachelor's degree, the program that you obtain in the name of the diploma you obtain in your bachelor's degree, and then you have to put a new CV and a new motivation letter. So the CV can be the same that you that you submitted in our platform, but for the motivation letter, I invite you to talk more in this case, not only about your academic path, your professional ambition, but also why do you have interest in applying for the scholarship. This is a moment so you can express a little bit of your path and talk about the selection criteria that you have been listed here. Because when we are selecting the scholars, we are seeing, of course, their academic excellence, their motivation, but also we are taking into account the financial need, the social diversity. So, for example, if you are the first generation of your family to apply for a master's degree. If you come from different regions outside of Santiago, anything that can give us a little bit more information about your profile, I think is in this motivation letter for the second form where you can add more information. So again, just to be sure that you understood, there is an application through the Sciences Po platform that is application to academic request, meaning you will be accepted or not accepted to our master's degree. And independent of this application, please fill out the form that is indicated in our webpage, Luksic Scholarship for Public Service at Sciences Po. Uploading this second motivation letter more related to your request of a scholarship. You will receive the response for the Sciences Po application maybe earlier than for the scholarship. So my recommendation is you can accept the application of the admission offer of Sciences Po, even if you don't know yet about the scholarship. And then once you hear for the scholarship, if you get it, you can accept it. If you don't get it, you can think about and maybe later refuse the application. So Sciences Po doesn't request you to pay any fees to get your admission. So this is for free. Just accept it while you have some time to think about, okay, and to have received the scholarship application response. And how it happens, the application, it's online in our system, and it's a file, a dossier. So we are checking your transcript, your academic performance, your diploma. We want to know about your motivation. What are your personal objectives applying for a master's degree? And here it's important to learn about the master's degree you are asking for. So go through our site web, check every structure of a single master's degree to understand what you want. And of course, what you say in a motivation letter today is not what you have to do once you are admitted. It's just to give an overview, an idea of your plans today. You can change your mind once you're admitted at Sciences Po, but we want to understand and to check if you did your job and you checked the Sciences Po website. And of course, talk a little bit about your extracurricular activities, because this is part of your profile. This is more or less, I will answer any questions you have about it, but as just for your information, and as Gabrielle said, this scholarships, it's for 2 years, a 2 years program with 2 tuition fees, living expenses, and also the arrival and travel costs. And to give you an idea, today our tuition fees is a little bit more than 20,000 euros per year. And just to finish, we have a student service that you'll be able to access once you are admitted at Sciences Po. So we are not in charge of finding you a housing. This is your own responsibility, but we do have a department that can give you advices on where to go to do your research. We have also a web page where some people publish some offers in Paris and around Paris. So you have some help to find the student housing. We have a department as well that will help you through the residence permit. The visa is your responsibility, and it's quite easy. You just get the admission offer, you print it, and you can apply directly in the French Embassy of Chile. But once you are here, there is a whole procedure of migration of residence permit, and this our student service can help you with. And of course, we have also department specialized in students who need additional help to complete their studies. So it's the Department of Disability and Accessibility. And any other issue or emergencies that you have, once you are admitted, you can also reach out so we can follow up on your case. I left for the last slide some links for YouTube videos on my contact, and also we'll have an open house day. It's in person in the end of November. If you are passed through Paris, please come to our campus. You are more than invited. The virtual web open house day was last month, but you still have some videos of that day available in our page. So if you want to have more information, it's either like downloading the brochure in the link that you have here, or you can also go through every page of our web page. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will be happy to answer your questions today. I will do some follow-up by email as well. And as Gabrielle said, I'm planning to go to Chile by the last week of November, so I would be happy to meet you if you are in Santiago, so we can chat and I can help you to answer your questions. Thank you, Gabrielle.
Awesome. Thanks, Larissa. And you guys will receive a copy of this presentation so you can access all of the links. And we can go ahead and open the Q&A for anyone who has some questions. Feel free to use this time. This is for you guys. You have Larissa here live, so you can get your answers or your questions answered right away. And we have a couple, Larissa, of questions. Malinka's asking if the internships have any age requirements. I understand that there are no age requirements.
No. in our, like, to be admitted in our master's degree and also to do an internship, there is no wage requirements. Of course, depending on your background and your experience, will be easier uh, or a little bit more, like you will spend more time trying to find an internship. But it's important to say that Sciences Po has a career department, and they help you. They give you workshops about how to build your CV, how to build your motivation letter. Workshops about interview, how to negotiate your salary. There is a different offer that is apart from our department, but it's for every single student at Sciences Po, that advises you on how to build your application to the internships, meaning you are the only responsible for finding it, but you have all the support of the university.
Thanks, Larissa. Perfect. There's a couple of questions coming in either through the chat or the Q&A. If they
Mhm.
can be through the Q&A, that would be great. But I see in the chat, Stephanie's asking, essentially confirming that they don't have to select the Emily Boutmy Scholarship in the application form of the university to
Yeah.
access Luksic Scholarship. So Stephanie, that's correct. You don't need to select the Emily Boutmy Scholarship to apply to the Luksic Scholarship. Although, Larissa, I would assume or guess that if they wanted to apply to additional financial aid, which we would recommend, they would also apply to the Emily Boutmy
Yes.
to be considered for other scholarships.
Yeah, so you are eligible for the Emily Butchme scholarship, that is scholarship of Sciences Po, but you cannot combine both the scholarships. So if you are admitted for both of them, you have to choose either you take the Sciences Po scholarship, is that the Emily Butchme, or you take the Luksic scholarship. But you can apply for both of it and then have, like, make your decision after all. Yeah, it's more or less how it works. It's knowing that the Emily Butimi scholarship is mainly for tuition fees. It doesn't cover the other parts that Luksic scholarship covers.
Perfect. Okay. In that case, then, again, as we always recommend candidates to apply to a wealth of the financial aid options that you guys have, we would recommend applying to the Emily Boutmy that would cover the tuition fees alongside the Luksic Scholarship, which is now through a different application process and form. And Larissa, we are getting some questions just to confirm that the November 30th date no longer exists, neither for the master's program or the scholarship, correct? It is January 4th.
If it do exist for the admission process, so I'll explain a little bit. At Sciences Po, we have 5 different juries along, like from October to April, more or less. We have 5 juries. So if you have already applied, for example, or you are applying for the deadline of November 30, you can go for it. It will change anything in the point of view of a scholarship. It's just means that you have an answer from about your admission to Sciences Po before the scholarship. If you haven't applied for the first jury or the jury of November 30, you can apply for the third jury that is in January 4th. So these are the three admissions juries that we have here at Sciences Po that you can use it to apply and then apply for the scholarship. If you apply after for the fourth and the fifth jury, we are not considering your application. But besides of applying to the first 3 juries, you have to submit your scholarship form by January the 4th. So January the 4th is the deadline for both, for the admissions at Sciences Po and the admissions for the scholarship. Applications received after this deadline can still be considered for Sciences Po, but not for the scholarship. I hope it's clear now.
Yes, and if anyone still has doubts, feel free to write again in the Q&A or feel free to email Larissa. We can put her email there in the chat. Ideco is asking if we're not selected or I'm not selected for the scholarship, can you reapply for the following year? From the foundation side, absolutely. There have certainly been scholars in the past who have either not maybe been admitted to the program or have been admitted to the program, but not selected for the scholarship. You're certainly more than welcome to reapply. It does not go against you in any way.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we also have some questions. Let's see. Maite is asking if there's any scholarships for the dual degree programs.
It's quite rare to having, it's
No,
quite
no.
rare to have scholarships for the dual degree programs, but in depending on it, you may find it more on the partner university side than our side. In our side, like for example, the Emily Butmi scholarship, you are not eligible, is not eligible for dual degrees.
Okay.
And also the Luksic scholarship, this is why we are here. You cannot apply for the dual degrees.
Exactly. And we do have some questions regarding English requirements. Are English exam results necessary at the time of application?
It is. So by the deadline, January 4th, you have to submit every single document, including English certificates. The English certificate, the requirement will vary a little bit from one master's degree to another. So please check our website to see which certificates are accepted. The expiration date, how we consider for each one of these certificates, and also what is the level, what is the punctuation for each one of them. This is written, there is a table in our website, and you have for every single master's degree, the certificate, the expiration date, and also the punctuation.
Perfect. And someone's asking if the Duolingo English test is viable
It
for the
is.
master's application. It is. Okay,
It is. So just check the punctuation that you have to have.
perfect. And we also have a question about if documents have to be in English and legalized by the Ministry of Education here in Chile. Is
We
all
accepted,
documentation?
yeah.
Sorry.
No, sorry, I interrupt you.
No, that was it. Yeah, if documents have to be submitted in English and legalized.
So we accept documents either in French or in English, okay? We don't accept in Spanish or any other language, just English or French. Or if it's a translation, it doesn't need to be an official translation. You can do the translation yourself, but of course, be attentive to that translation that you are doing. And once you are admitted, if there is any need to ask you for an official translation, we'll do it. But for the application process, we can accept your own translation.
Awesome. That's great to know because when I came to Chile, I had to translate all of my documents to go through the ministry was a process. So
Yeah.
Camila, again, I know Camila is asking about the legalization process. Larissa said you can translate those documents yourself, but of course, if there is any doubt on behalf of Ciencispo, they would reach out to you to
Mm,
ask more specifically about if they need anything clarified.
yes.
We also, Maria Laura is asking if the Emily Bootney scholarship, if that deadline is also January 4th.
No, for the Emily Butchme scholarship, the deadline is November 30.
Okay.
And if to apply for the Butchme scholarship, you have to be submitted both, to submit the application and indicate in the website that you want to ask for the Butchme scholarship, and respect this deadline. Any application sent after this deadline won't be considered for the Butchme scholarship.
Okay, so if applicants are considering applying for the Emily Bootney, they would need to apply to the master's program and that scholarship before November 30th, and then can
Yes,
apply to the Luksic scholarship before January 4th. Just so
exactly.
that you guys have those dates in
Mhm.
mind. And I know Amardanto was asking about that. And again, we would really highly encourage everyone to apply to as many financial aid options as possible. Okay, and then Ideco is asking if when applicants are expected to be notified whether they've been selected for the Luksic scholarship.
So in our planning, we are expecting to give you an answer by 8th through 10th. So that's why I said before, do your application to Ciences Po. If you are admitted, accept it. I advise you to accept it. And then by April 10, you can decide if you have the scholarship or not, if you want to keep this admission or not, and then you can notify Sciences Po. But my advice is to accept it.
Perfect. And the last two questions is, would the scholarship cover the exchange semester expenses as well? I believe I'm not on the program development side, so maybe Larissa, you would know a bit more. I
Yeah.
believe no.
Actually, as the scholarship is covering 2 years program, you keep receiving your scholarship, but the scholarship won't be adapted to your exchange program. So you can take the money of your scholarship, and if that's enough to do an exchange program, you can do it. But it doesn't mean that the foundation or Sciences Po will adapt the amount you are receiving to the place you are doing your exchange program. So, for example, if you decide to return to Chile and to do an exchange program in Chile, I think the scholarship will be enough. But if you decide to go to New York, maybe depending on where you live and how you have your daily life organized, maybe it's not enough. So you keep receiving the scholarship, but not adapted to your exchange program.
Perfect, thanks. That's very clear. And the last question is, do candidates receive feedback if their application was rejected?
No, we don't give detailed feedback. We give some information, but it's quite an overview. After, you can request for more information if you want, but then there is a new administrative process that you have to go through.
Okay, wonderful. I don't see any other questions, so I guess we can leave this session there. And again, you guys will receive a copy of this presentation, the copy of the presentation and this recording to your email. And of course, if you have any questions, we'll send you Larissa's email as well, so you can email her directly.
Yeah.
And again, she'll be visiting us in Chile at the end of November. So we're very much looking forward to her visit, and potentially maybe some of you guys could meet with her for a more one-on-one session. And I know Felipe has one last question. Actually, in the cover letter, you asked for 2 pages. Is there any word limit?
No, just a 2 page.
Okay, perfect. Great. Camila says, thank you. Thank you guys so much. We're looking forward to meeting the next Luksic scholars for the upcoming cohort. And hopefully some of you guys will get to meet Larissa here when she's in Chile at the end of the month.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Larissa.
everyone. Thank you, Gabrielle.
Thank
Have a
you
nice
guys.
day, you all.
Take time. Bye. Take
Bye.
care.